This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today, we're trying to escape again. We're in a temple, and we're trying to go through and we're trying to get these gems, and I feel a little bit like Indiana Jones. We're looking at an expansion today for a very popular game called Escape the Curse of the Temple, which I believe made my top 20 games of all time when I did my top 100 list. This is the latest expansion called Traps. Comes with 2 modules. Let me show you how it's played. Is this the best one? Let's see. Here's everything that comes in the expansion. You have 5 tiles that are trap tiles. You have 8 tiles that are time tiles. You get 2 new timers and some tokens. Let's cover the trap tiles first. Basically what happens is you take 2, 3, or 4 of these and you mix them in, basically adding them to the base set, so you'll have more tiles. Now all of the trap tiles, as soon as you find the new room and it's a trap tile, you must automatically just move in there. So let's say we find a tile. We put it here, and it is the moving platform. This adventurer has to move in here, and then this moving platform is going to move until it clockwise with the same orientation until it finds a new spot. Well, that didn't move too far, but let's say I was in here when I got it. Well, here it would come, I'd go here, and it would move around in the same orientation until it found a spot that locks up, and it would move over here. So sometimes you can actually move pretty far away and be, away from others. Let's say you get a new one, and this is the slide trap. You automatically slide down this trap, and you can't go back up here. Now you're gonna have to go out these other areas in order to get around, and other adventurers can follow you down into that side trap, but they can't move up either. So they can come down here, and they could jump down here as well, but then they're stuck, and they have to go out a different way. Let's say you get a new tile. This is a cliff. What happens is you automatically get stuck on the cliff. Other adventurers can come in and share golden masks with you, but they can't help you roll 3 keys to then get back down there. There's one where you roll 3 keys, and there's another one where you roll 3 torches. The last trap tile is the invocation. As soon as this, every adventurer, no matter where they are, must move to this tile, which is probably bad because they're probably doing something else. Then later in the game, if you come in here and you roll 3 keys, it automatically pulls everyone back here again. You might want to do that on purpose if this is near an exit and you want to pull everybody to it. Well, let's say you got a new room here, and this one becomes one of the time chambers. Because it shows a green timer, you have this timer that is green, and you flip it over, it's 1 minute. And for this next 1 minute, nobody can use any golden masks. Once this 1 minute goes, you flip it over again, and you go here, and while this timer is going, nobody can basically get, put out any gems. There's a few of these. This one has no gems. This one says no adventurers can go to any room. That's another one with a golden mask and the gem. And then gem, and you cannot go to the start space. So if it's on here and it's getting close to the gong, you're not gonna be able to go back to the start space. Now these other ones have the blue timer. Essentially, as soon as this goes, you start the blue timer. It's again 1 minute. And everybody has to get in here. Well, people have to get in here and collectively roll 7 torches. If you do, nothing happens. If you fail, 2 players each have to lose, 2 different players have to lose a die. There's another one that comes out that's somewhat similar to this, where this just means that everybody has to get to this chamber, and if they don't get into it by the time this is it, then they all lose a die that hasn't got in there. Okay, let's say they put this one here, and we have the blue timer. We start it, and people have to get in there and collectively roll 5 torches. If they do so, without flipping it, they move it down. Then they have to roll 4 keys. If they do so, they collectively move this down without flipping it, and if they do 3 men, they're good. If the timer runs out on any of the 3 of these, bad things are going to happen. If it runs out here, you'll add 3 gems to the total gems that you have to put in during the end to get out. 2 and 1. The other thing is same type of tile in the lava room, same way it works, except if you're at different spots, 3 dice are lost, 2 dice are lost, and 1 total dice is lost between everybody. Now, if there's a timer on one of these, and a second one comes out that needs a blue timer, you'd put a number 1 there, and then when this one runs out, you'd start it here. If for some reason a third room comes up that's blue, you would put that there. As I mentioned in the overview, Escape the Curse of the Temple is one of my favorite games. I've played it a ton, and I have pretty much every expansion for it, and many of the promos, and all the little queenies that come out. How does this one shake up? How does it slot with the other ones? This expansion I thought was good. I don't think it's great. For me, out of the three, so the first one was Illusions, the second one was Quests, and this one's Traps. And in my opinion, I actually like them in that order. Illusions is my favorite, Quest is my second favorite, and then this is probably my least favorite. With that being said, I still enjoy it, but for me, I think the person that would buy this probably has everything already, and is continuing to play the snot out of the game and still wants to add some more variability to it. I like what the other expansions added better, the special abilities of the characters, the different quests, those illusions that move tiles around and disappear. To me, that was more engaging and more fun than these. I liked this, but I just didn't love it. A couple problems I had with it was you've got those timers, and a lot of times you're going to be putting a timer down amongst all the craziness going around and amongst the CD track playing, and you're going to put a timer down. Okay, until this timer runs out, we can't go to the center tile, or we can't put out any gems. And what happens is people move around, they're getting all carried away doing their thing, and everyone forgets to look for the timer. So it's probably been out for a while. Oh, we got to flip it now, we got to move to the next one. And you just kind of forget that it's there. And that's the only sort of downside, is that it's one more thing to keep track of, which isn't easy unless you're like in one of those ones where you're in the room or you have to go to the room before you lose a dice. Those ones, it doesn't happen so much. On the other ones, it can. But it's okay. I like how you can mix and match either modules. If you're going to do this, and you're going to mix both modules in, only use one or two tiles from each, because it gets really hard. Now, the thing I did like about this, the base game comes with curses and treasures, and usually after you've played it 3 or 4 times with new players, they're ready to add in the curses and the treasures to make it a little more difficult. The problem with that is, in the base game, is those curses, there's a lot of them, and it's hard for people to learn them all, and you're like passing around the manual in the middle of the thing, and it's a little hard to make that next step. What I think what this will do is, instead of playing curses when you get really good at it with a new group, is you can add in these tiles, and instead of passing around the directions to every person when they draw a specific tile, basically a new tile comes up and you could just be the one person to tell everybody what it does, because you're interacting with it as well. So I think this would be my next thing to do after the base game. Instead of the curses, put this one out. So it does have merit, and it does have a good reason to have this third expansion. But even with that being said, it's probably the least favorite of my 3, and that's Escape's Traps.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com.